It's October 20th, 2017.
This is Nerd Bourbon episode 20. I am caretaker of this cursed episode and Resident Evil fan Seth Sturgill.
And I am the one true king, Todd Sturgill.
How are you doing, Todd?
Pretty good. I love how you just went from like high energy to low energy just to get into this whole like bullshit you're about to talk about.
I have to get into this character. I get into a new character every week, Todd.
I respect it.
I don't know who the real Seth Sturgill is anymore.
I mean, I know who the real Seth Sturgill is.
When I look in the mirror, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. We had like all these weird like complications just even to start recording this episode, and we're recording it like so much later than we usually do, and I just joked with you just a second ago. I was like, this episode's cursed.
That's some real shit, dude. Because like, yeah, normally to the listeners, we like to record this like almost like legit like a week in advance almost. And,
close to it, yeah.
Yeah, and this is, let's just say this is only gives us like a day or so.
Yeah, this is down to the wire. Keeping with the Halloween theme, this is the cursed episode. But, I don't really have anything in terms of housekeeping. I thought I did, but I don't really. I do want to talk about, we streamed every single day last week. We streamed from October 8th till October 13th. I mean, how did you feel about that whole process?
I enjoyed it overall, but like on my end, like on the YouTube end, it's like, holy shit, exporting these like 3-hour long plus videos is hell.
Yeah.
Especially if I like want to like brighten them or like fuck with the audio a little bit. That just like I did that to one video and I regretted it.
Yeah, because didn't it like exponentially increase the export time?
About 20 hours.
Jesus
maybe
Christ.
That's a combination of maybe my computer being shit. I don't know.
Whatever the case may be, we would stream and we would get, pretty decent length streams. I think most of them were between the 3 and 4 hour range. We had a good time doing it. I do kind of want to talk about, because some of the games, at least on my end, I played a lot of games that I hadn't played before.
Yeah.
Like I did a full playthrough of Outlast 2 and a full playthrough of like Little Nightmares, and was going to do a full playthrough of Resident Evil 7, and in fact teased and talked about playing Resident Evil 7 on the last episode. And what happened there, Todd?
Oh, this poor sweet boy, he got fucked by Capcom.
Capcom fucked me good, because I go to play it, and everything was all set up, everything was running smoothly, like it was all good. As near as we could tell, everything was kosher. And then, like, I go to load it up, and it's like, you're entering a blocked scene or whatever, and so broadcasting is not allowed. And I'm like, okay, whatever. It's probably just for this intro cutscene, or maybe just for this, like, beginning area or something like that. And then once I actually started playing, I was asking Todd, I was like, is it still not up yet? And he's like, no, dude, I'm pretty sure the entire game is blocked.
I'm just like, I was sitting there like, oh, man, this is not good.
Yeah, like, I immediately took to Google and yeah, sure enough, like Capcom will not allow you to broadcast Resident Evil 7 with the PS4's like built-in software. Because that's all we're doing. That's all we did, is we just used the mics and like the built-in, software from the PS4, like everything that comes with your PS4 already, essentially. Because we don't have, it's an independent podcast. We don't have capture cards or anything like that yet. So that is something we want to get in the future to make our streams.
Yet.
Yeah, exactly. We want to, get those in the future and make our streams a little more professional, but I think it worked out pretty well overall for that. But anyway, Capcom will not allow you to stream Resident Evil 7. God fucking forbid you stream Resident Evil 7 on your PS4. So that was annoying. I apologize about that. So we ended up having to start our stream like 30 minutes later, because I was like, all right, I guess backup plan, we're doing Outlast 2. Which I was already planning on playing, but so yeah, we ended up doing a full playthrough of Outlast 2, and it was good. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I think you were there for almost all of it.
Yeah, I think I probably missed about like 30 minutes of your playthrough.
For the most part, we were both there the entire time together and played through the game, and we even interacted with some guy in chat for a little bit, and that was fun, and he ended up following us on Twitch, which was nice, and I don't know, it was just a good experience overall. It was, Outlast 2 was good, Little Nightmares was good. I definitely Little Nightmares I have more problems with than Outlast, but neither of them were perfect. But they were very good, like Halloween kind of. It was nice to kind of play Halloween themed games during Halloween, and then you played Bloodborne, which fit the mold, and we all got to witness the birth of Tater Todd.
That's all you witnessed, because I jumped off of that motherfucker for like real quick.
But I don't know. It's it's one of those things, and I think we talked about this on the streams. But just to be absolutely clear, Twitch is not like our bread and butter. Like we have fun streaming on Twitch, and you can expect at least one stream a week from us on Twitch. We're for sure every week going to be streaming the Destiny 2 weekly reset stuff because we're Todd and I are reliably going to be doing that week after week. You can expect that every week, but beyond that, it might be a little more sporadic. We'll still be announcing everything on Facebook and Twitter when we do it, but it's not going to be like we're not doing a full fucking week of streams again anytime soon.
The only guaranteed stream that you guys are going to get is like the Destiny reset basically every week. And that's honestly about it. Like maybe there's a couple games that are coming out that I might do a little like a Tater Time stream on, like Assassin's Creed or something like that.
And I may stream shit here and there. It's not dead now. It's not, but it's just not going to be like the main facet. This is ultimately a podcast more than anything else. But so I guess that was kind of housekeeping. And that's kind of the only bit of housekeeping.
Yeah, I think that was like the major housekeeping that we needed to do. Like just to kind of get the Twitch stuff out of the way.
Yeah, I don't want, and I guess this is more of a tease than anything. I don't want to announce it just yet because we're in the very early stages, but I do want to tease that we're talking about maybe doing a new show.
Oh, yes.
That's all you'll hear about that so far. So stay tuned. There may be yet another thing to look out for because I'm just addicted to work, I guess. What have you been up to this week?
Well, I just recently started my new job.
It's going well so far.
Yeah, I'm happier. It's actually funny as I'm working for a distributor. I used to work at a grocery store, and now I'm working for a distributor. And I ended up actually going to my old store actually in the morning, and that was hilarious. I had a lot of people kind of like seeing me, and they're like, "Oh, you jackass."
What's funny is there was a little while there where I was in talks to basically do exactly that. Like work as one of the distributors or one of the vendors of my that delivers to my store that I currently work at.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. It's like some chip vendor, right?
Yeah, and like that would have been so awkward, like having to go into my store as a vendor.
Yeah, it was, but the thing is, it's funny though, is a lot of them were like, "Todd, you seem so much happier right now," and I'm like, I'm way happier.
What else have you been? I know you've been playing Hyperlight Drifter a little bit.
Yeah, so since we've been reading like Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, I don't know why it just kind of got me in the mood to go back and play some of the games I just never got around to finishing. Hyperlight Drifter's one of them, and I was talking to you is Shovel Knight. So after Hyperlight Drifter, I'm actually gonna fuck around with Shovel Knight, actually sit there and beat that game.
Thank fucking God you're finally gonna beat Shovel Knight, you piece of shit.
I know. But I want to give Hyperlight Drifter a fair, like I'm actually just in the last area now, so that'll be fun to mess around with. And
do you have Shovel Knight? What system do you have?
I have it on PS4, so I'm actually I just gotta download it, re-download it on PS4.
So did you get the treasure trove?
Yes, that's exactly what I have.
Okay, good. So you're gonna have all of the Shovel Knight.
Yep. So so once I finish Hyperlight Drifter, I'm going to jump right into Shovel Knight, actually beat it. I mean, like I already love so much about Shovel Knight. I love the music, and I love the game in general. It's just I never actually got around to beating it. So
it's such an amazing game. I can't wait for you to play it.
Yeah, it's about damn time I actually sit there and beat it. So
yeah, it really is. That game's so good. I still haven't finished Spectre of Torment, and every time I play it for like a good long play session, and then I put it down, and I almost think it's almost like I don't want it to end kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Not that it's the last piece of DLC, because we still have King of Cards coming out in early 2018, but I don't know, I'm almost like, whenever I pick up Spectre of Torment, I'm just like, I want there to always be Shovel Knight for me to play.
Yeah, I feel that.
What else you got?
Oh yeah, I straight up forgot. Yeah, me and one of my close friends, we've actually been I've jumped back on Ghost Recon Wildlands. That very tedious but fun game. If you make it fun, if you're acting like an idiot, which is what I do.
There's certain games that you like own and sometimes play that I just completely forget that you even like fuck
Own?
with.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and that's one of them. I'm like, when you told me that, like when I was writing out the show notes, and you're like, "Oh, I'm playing Ghost Recon Wildlands." I'm like, "Whoa, you have that? Oh, that's right, you have that."
Yeah, it's like there's a couple games like that. I got like Rainbow Six Siege, Ghost Recon Wildlands, and again, like the game's like not some like work of art. It's a stupid game that you can have fun with if you're playing with like a friend and just being idiot, like basically being idiots together.
Yeah,
And because I like at one point we were sitting there doing a mission, and I full on like he's getting rocked, like he parachutes down, and he's like getting like he's surrounded by enemies, and I'm like, oh, I'll save you. I legit don't even attend. I'm not intending to save him. I'm just being an idiot. I jump out of this helicopter and just fucking nosedive straight next to him and die.
beautiful. Just splat on the ground.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that. I can appreciate a dumb fun game. That game, man, Ubisoft's been like selling some very successful games this year. Between that, For Honor, and even still Rainbow Six. Like,
I mean, like the thing is, like each of the games, like to a certain extent, still get a lot of shit. Like For Honor gets a lot of shit for not having dedicated servers.
yeah,
But it's getting to that point, you know. Like I haven't been playing the game, but I do love For Honor for what it is. But shit.
I
Once
had
they
a
get
fun
dedicated,
like, little month with it.
yeah. If they honestly get dedicated servers, I honestly might jump back on it. But shit, we'll see.
I respect Ubisoft, and I say this every time Ubisoft comes up on the show. Like, I respect their ability to. I respect their ability to actually like squeeze the life out of their games and really give you your money's worth. The only thing, I did the Splatoon 2 Splatfest. You were supposed to join me.
What day was that? Was that on Friday or Saturday?
Saturday.
I'm pretty sure I woke up and I actually like jumped in with you, and I was just like I was not feeling like doing shit.
Yeah,
So-
we were on Skype the whole time, and I was like, "Yo, are you gonna come in? You gonna join me?"
It's funny is I did
You gonna
actually
fight for
jump
Team
on.
Werewolf?
I legit jumped on and I actually like chose my team and shit. I just did not care enough to jump on and actually play.
You're a traitor. You betrayed Team Werewolf, and you know what? Team Werewolf actually lost. Team Vampire was vampires versus werewolves. To go with the Halloween
I can see
theme.
they won 3-0.
3-0. Now it was very close, and as it always is. I could pull it up right now if I wanted to, but each of them popularity, it was within literally each of the percentiles was within like 3% of each other. I think popularity was like 51 to 49 or something like that, which is way closer than I thought it was going to be. I knew vampires were going to take popularity, right? That was just
course.
obvious. That was just obvious. The main reason that I picked Team Werewolf this time, because I actually was conflicted. What do I like more, vampires or werewolves?
See, I wouldn't have been conflicted. I'm werewolf all the way.
I was conflicted for a little while. I sat there and thought about it, and my fiance was there watching me, and she's like, she kind of looked at the screen. She goes, "Oh, is it Splatfest?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's vampires versus werewolves. I don't know which one I want to pick. I'm conflicted. I like them both. Vampires are going to be the more popular, so if I pick vampire, I'm going to be fighting a lot of other vampires essentially. But if I pick werewolf, like I don't know if I like them as much as the vampires and blah blah blah." And she goes, "You got to go werewolf." And I was like, "Why? Like why so certain?" And she's like, "Let me ask you this. When you pick your team, think of this. Which one would you rather have tattooed on your body?"
That's some real shit.
I was like, "I'll be damned. I guess it's Team Werewolf."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I went Team Werewolf, and even though we lost, I didn't get to the Werewolf King rank. I just didn't have enough raw time. Time's been a fleeting thing. I've just been getting hammered with work lately, but I still got a shit ton of super seashells, and it was fun. I mean, it's nice to just jump back. Splatoon 2 for me now is like in that space that Splatoon 1 occupied for years, where I just kind of jump in and do the Splatfest, once every few months or whatever. And I'm constantly reminded of how good that game is. And I still need to sit there and beat the single player, which is something I might actually do soon. It's just a really good game, and Splatfest is always so much fun. And you're a fucking traitor, and I want you to know that.
It's all right. I accept that.
So, getting ready Mario Odyssey's coming out next week.
Oh, yeah.
And to prepare for that, I decided a little while ago, and I've told you this. I don't know if I've ever said it on this podcast before.
Yeah, you haven't. It's funny, is I actually kind of want to do this myself.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to make my entire Switch library digital because it's kind of annoying to like sit there and switch out cartridges and stuff like that, especially like I found when I'm going out with it and I'm like wanting to play it outside of the house, it's so annoying to like dig through my case and pull out the cartridge, and I don't know. I just wanted them to all be digital so I can just like, boom, I'm playing Zelda, boom, I'm playing Mario Kart, or whatever the case may be. So starting with Mario Odyssey, I wanted to have my full Switch library just digital, all there on the console. So what I knew I was going to have to do is buy a micro SD XC card. So I did some research, and the highest it currently supports is a 256 gig. It's going to eventually, the Switch actually can support up to 2 terabytes, but they literally don't make 2 terabytes yet.
Damn.
So it's future-proofed. So like whenever 2 terabyte micro SD XC exists, the Switch will support it, So I bought it. It was $130 on Amazon. So it was a little pricey. The micro SDs are much more expensive than the standard SDs, and then when you go up in price, like it gets more and more ridiculous when you go up in gigabyte file size. This really pissed me off though. Days later, Amazon had a big blowout SD card sale, and the exact same SD card that I just spent $130 on was like $80. I was like, God damn it. This is so annoying. I could have saved myself like $50 if I had waited a few days. So what I ended up doing was I took all of my physical games, my physical copies of the games to GameStop, and I traded them in or whatever. And because here's my deal. But before, let me just go on this little tangent for 2 seconds. I love physical media when it comes to my console games. I'm still, in a lot of ways, I'm still very much an old man. Every day of my life, I feel like it plays the fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm theme when I wake up. I'm just like, I encounter all these old man things like, I have to have physical media for my Blu-rays and my PS4s, and no, I won't get on Snapchat. I hate Snapchat. I can't figure Snapchat out. I'm so old. Type shit. Just fucking.
Like, I feel you on that. Like, the only reason I even have a Snapchat is just like, because people bother me. And I'm just like, fuck it, I'll make one. Just leave me alone.
Everybody wants me to be on Snapchat, and I literally can't. I feel like I've never felt like more of an old person than when I'm sitting there trying to figure out Snapchat. I literally can't figure out how to fucking work it. Like, my fiance's on it all the time, and she'll be like, oh, look at this funny, like, face filter. And I'm like, how do I get it to fucking work? I can't even do that. So, like...
It's not that complicated.
And she just pats me on the... She's like, it's okay, Grandpa Seth. And I have one of those experiences like every day of my life. But the more I sort of like like I have a Kindle now, and I'm starting to get my books. For a long time I was stuck on physical media for my books, but now like space is becoming an issue, so I have a Kindle and I get my books digitally. And I'll talk about this on book club, but I'm actually starting to experiment with audiobooks a little bit. But like, the one thing that I for the most part won't give up yet is physical games for my console games. So, and I thought that I was going to carry that with me. For handheld games, I have like my entire 3DS library is digital. My Vita library is all digital. So I thought for the Switch, I was going to think of it as more of a home console game. But I really do view it more as a handheld than anything else, even though I play it on my TV more than I do handheld mode. I still, like, those times when I do, it really is 50-50. Those times when I do use it for handheld mode, like, I don't want to be fumbling around with cartridges and shit like that. Like, I just want it all right there on my system. And what's cool, it's not as easy to transfer everything over as it should be, but what is nice is that once you have the SD card in there, all of your downloads from then on are going to go on there. So it was just a matter of, like, deleting what I had and then re-downloading it, basically. Mm-hmm. All of your save data, SD card or no, all save data saves onto the system internal memory, though. So all of my save data was still intact, so I literally could get rid of my cartridges, and I was totally fine. But I now have my full Switch library is all digital, And when Mario Odyssey comes out, that's going to be digital as well. And I'm going to be full digital with Switch from now on. And I'm really looking forward to it, man. By the time the next episode comes out, I won't have played Mario Odyssey, but you could probably expect a shots or something from me, if not an extended segment of episode 22, just about Mario Odyssey.
Oh, I already know.
Because that's my most anticipated game of the year. I cannot wait.
You could honestly just make that your fucking topic for like episode 22.
That's actually some real shit. That actually episode 22 may be a solo topic for me. Mario Odyssey. That's some real shit. But go ahead and introduce the Destiny update.
Little bitch. Now, the weekly Destiny update. So, oh shit. I actually want to kind of start this with the story of me finally getting my exotic arms.
Yeah, you've been trying to get these for forever.
Yeah, so there's a Titan exotic. It was the only Titan exotic I was missing by the time I finally got them. It's the Sycotheps. It's these gauntlets that basically increase your melee lunge range and melee damage when surrounded. It probably doesn't sound that good. For me, it is. I melee the shit out of everything. I punch everything in the face. So
and the exotics are really quite tame in this game anyway. There aren't really huge exotic perks.
So I enjoy it for what it is, and they actually look pretty legit. So I kind of knew I kind of wanted them in my end game, like character basically. So I've been farming for those since the game basically came out.
Mm-hmm.
Really, just waking up, doing public events. And when I was like sitting there, like I wasn't working at the point. I was unemployed for a couple weeks. I was putting a lot of time into Destiny 2. And
I know you were.
Exotic engram after exotic engram, nothing. And it's actually funny, is the first night of my new job, I actually got home, did a public event, one single public event, got an exotic engram, first public event, turned it in, bam, right then and there. I was just like,
the Lord smiled on you.
Yeah, I was just like, shit, got my new job, got my gauntlets, what else do I need in this life?
I don't know, fucking new perspective on the value of life.
Yeah, that's true. I actually don't. You don't want to know my perspective on life.
It needs to be measured more in Destiny gauntlets.
Yes, but this is probably gonna be a little long one because I can honestly shit on Iron Banner for a while.
Yeah, Iron Banner started this past week, and I didn't really see you guys. You guys gave it too much of your time, so you guys are saltier than I am about it because I realized early on that it was bullshit.
The way they handled Iron Banner this time around, I'll accept the no power advantages, to bring more people into basically everybody can do Iron Banner. That's cool. It's whatever. And honestly, it's really like the differences. You really never notice the difference in power level or even light level. Was like you only notice it around like if there were like 30 levels below you.
Yeah, it was never really a huge deal.
Yeah, it was still something. It was more of an end game PvP like situation. Same with like Trials of Osiris versus Trials of the Nine, but that's another thing. But Iron Banner, just the simple way they handled I'm not a big fan of the token system in this game.
I like it for most things.
I don't like it for the raid. I want drops from the raid.
Yeah, I don't like it for... It's not... The thing about Destiny 2 is, like, it wanted to create... And I can just see this from a design perspective. It wanted to create these systems that were, like, kind of omnipresent and that would work for everything, and they just don't, in my opinion. I want drops for the raid, and you do technically you do get some drops for the raid, but it's mostly
but it's more often than not you're just getting the tokens.
Mostly it's for tokens and to explain to people who don't play Destiny or whatever. Essentially, what it is you gather tokens in the game that are, be it for the different zones, the different planets in the game have like kind of planetary vendors. And they're, Crucible tokens and Vanguard tokens and raid tokens and stuff. And you take them to these vendors and sort of cash in the tokens to level up the vendor. And once the vendor gains a level, you get a engram drop. And that's great, and that's fine for most of the things. But for Iron Banner, versus the way it worked in Destiny 1, essentially you would level up Iron Banner, and that would allow you, based on your level, to purchase Iron Banner gear. And you could also get it in random drops in Crucible too during Iron Banner time.
That right there is honestly the only thing they needed to do. Just like as we're playing the Iron Banner playlist, just give us some random drops. Just throw some random drops in. Like that would honestly shit. I wouldn't be as salty right now.
Yeah, but even that, I mean, like they essentially made it so that you know, like it's all just a dice roll between the raid gear and between Iron Banner, and those are the things that you don't really want to be a dice roll, because those are the things that you're putting in a lot of work into. And you know, I would much prefer it if Iron Banner, you know, it's one of the few things where I'm like, I kind of wish it was the way it was in Destiny 1 right now.
Yeah, like one of the other things I feel like they could have done is removed the other additional rewards out of that package. Like, just give me only Iron Banner rewards. That's all I want.
Yeah, it is pretty stupid that you can get like other dumb legendaries in an Iron Banner package.
That's like, it was ridiculous. I got mad. I was getting mad as shit playing Iron Banner. I don't even know why I kept on playing.
That's why I didn't. I was like, literally, once I realized kind of the bullshit, I was like, all right. And I didn't really have much time to play this go around anyway, but I was kind of like, eh. And then, like, you're like, when you told me that the reward for turning in 10 packages in Season 1 or whatever was just an emblem, I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good on that.
I like the emblem, but it's just, in 10 packages, honestly, isn't that big of a deal, but
it is when you're strapped for time, and Iron Banner's bullshit.
That's, So, I see where you're coming from with that.
It is what it is. I sort of, you know, I had a, Bungie, during the first month of Destiny 2, Bungie sort of outlined week by week which each reset was going to have in terms of like events and stuff like that. And this month they didn't, and I was a little weirded out because I was like, okay, well, so they're probably going to bring back Festival of the Lost for Destiny 2. Like, clearly, why wouldn't they bring it back, you know? And so I was kind of like, where's Festival of the Lost? Where are they going to fit this in if Iron Banner's happening and blah, blah, blah? I kind of thought it was going to be this week, but it wasn't. So if Festival of the Lost is in Destiny 2, it kind of has to be next week. Unless they literally want to start it on October 31st, which is a Tuesday. So
I mean, they honestly could, but no. I feel like they'd be better off doing it the week before Halloween.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they're probably going to do it, you know, this upcoming week. But even still, like, don't they usually, like, kind of tease it a little bit by now? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm weirded out. Like, if Destiny 2 doesn't have holiday events, I'm honestly going to be really let down by that. Because I love holiday events in games, and I love Festival of the Lost. Even though in Destiny 1 it didn't really like have that much going on, it's still just a fun thing to do to get you into the holiday spirit. And it just gives you more shit to do in Destiny. Or in whatever game, you know, that you're talking about. So, honestly, I really, really hope Festival of the Lost makes a comeback. And really, they only have like 2 weeks max to do it. October's halfway over. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I'm just kind of like, shit, it's either going to be on the 24th or the 31st if it's happening at all. You know? But was there anything else you want to talk about in the Destiny update? Was there anything else we wanted to get out of the way?
I think that's really it, honestly. Like, that's kind of the main...
That's kind of really all that's been happening in Destiny this past week. You hit 305 yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
You hit the level cap.
305. Yeah, they finally graced me with a mark. That's all I was missing.
Yeah, I'm right there. I literally have like 2 pieces of gear that are not 305. And once they are, I'll be right there too. And
yep.
Literally, I think the only other thing we haven't done in the game is actually completed the raid. So,
yep.
After
anybody
that
got a Callus checkpoint? Let us know.
Looking for Callus checkpoint. Because that's all you got to do. All you got to do is beat Callus, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're able to spend your raid tokens, and you get your trophy and all that. And that's all I want. I don't really give a shit about anything else. That's really... I just kind of look out in the clan chat for people who need help with Callus. I'm like, I'll do that. That's all I'm good to do, though. There's no point in doing the rest of the raid. I mean, we've talked about this before. The raid's fucking useless in this game.
Yep.
But
the raid legitimately used to be something that you would have to do to actually like get your light level up.
To get to cap,
now it's not.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now it's just fucking useless. I don't know. Anyway, in terms of our topics this week, I guess I'm gonna start us off. We I don't know if it's gonna be super duper long. Maybe a quick and easy episode this week, but I want to talk about craft cocktails. I actually had your topic as well this week. I kind of came up with your topic, and then, as I mentioned earlier, I've been getting really hammered with.
Hey, fuck you! You didn't have to let anybody know that.
No. I did have to. I want to take ownership for both of these topics right now.
Fuck you, you little bitch.
No, but as I've been getting hammered with work, one thing that is a constant for me. I'm not trying to get too #real talk, but I've been getting fucking murdered at work lately, and I've been depressed, and when I get depressed, I find myself obsessing over things. I find myself sort of I find something to latch onto and just obsess over it as almost like a shoulder to lean on through the bullshit, Does that make sense?
Yeah.
During this past month or so of work, I've just been really depressed or whatever, and I just was kind of really looking into craft cocktails and experimenting with cocktails at home, which is something that I've done for years now. I've always had a passing interest in mixology, for several years, and I've made cocktails for people, and I've experimented with cocktails myself. I'm not even a huge drinker. I do enjoy alcohol. Alcohol's fucking great. But I just love the history behind cocktails, and I love the culture behind cocktails and the artistry.
I was about to make a joke there, but I just let it slide.
What, just a cock joke?
No. It's just I do enjoy. I'm like, what? The guys behind Nerd Bourbon like alcohol?
Yeah. Well, I've always been a bourbon drinker, and that when I came up with the title for Nerd Bourbon, I don't even know really where it came to me. I just thought those two words just sounded good together. And I've always been a bourbon drinker, and I've always loved a good bourbon cocktail, and that's 99% of what I make for myself at home. So anyway, I want to talk about the sort of artistry and the craft of making cocktails and kind of where they've gone, because if you go into a bar nowadays, 99% of the time, it's just a bunch of people giving people beers. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's why the fuck am I going to a bar just to drink a Budweiser? You know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be.
That's garbage.
I could do that at home. You know what I mean? Let me not get ahead of myself, though. So for folks that don't know, and you may or may not know much about cocktails, but a cocktail is any mixture of spirits, alcohol, sweets and bitters, and then water is also an essential component, which most people get from ice in their cocktail. That's what a cocktail is, and it goes back, it goes back as early as alcohol does. Essentially, as long as there has been alcohol, people have been making cocktails, and we've been drinking this way for hundreds of years. And what I really love when I'm making an old fashioned, what I love so much about the old fashioned is it's such a simple. An old fashioned is literally just bourbon, ice, lemon or orange, and bitters and simple syrup, or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's the quintessential cocktail, and we've been drinking an old fashioned that way for 200 years, and we're gonna be drinking it that way for the next 200 years. You know what I mean? And there's something comforting. There's something I find comfort in that. And this is another, this is another old man Seth thing maybe, but I find comfort in something being the same still. You know what I mean? We live in a world where shit is always changing and usually for the worst. I take comfort in the fact that I can make an old fashioned and I'm drinking it just the way George Washington drank it. And I'm drinking it just the way my descendants are going to be drinking it. You know what I mean? There's something cool about that. Mm. And I love that about it. I know you kind of fuck with you'll make yourself some stuff at home, but do you have any interest in the sort of cocktail world or the mixology or anything?
I mean, there is to a certain extent I do, because there is some cocktails I do want to try.
Like what?
But There's a couple like other like bourbon like whiskey ones that I want to try. Like I forget the names of them, but there's a couple that I was like kind of interested in.
Okay.
Because the main thing that I usually fuck with is I just make myself a shitty whiskey sour, honestly.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the classics, and that's the thing, with cocktails and people that make cocktails. You go into a bar now, and like I said, it's mostly just a glorified. They're just sitting there slinging beer, and I don't care for that. Like when I go into a bar, if it doesn't have craft cocktails, I almost I don't even fuck with you. You know what I mean? I can drink beer and wine at home. I want an artist to show me their craft. I want somebody who can sit there and make me something with their bare hands. You know what I mean? Like,
before you move on, Seth, I think I need to call out this. I didn't know this was one, but this is now one that I do want to try.
What's that?
The hot toddy.
Oh, you never had a hot toddy?
No, dude.
Oh, dude, a hot toddy's good. I had a hot toddy. I had a flu maybe a year or so ago. I usually get one good flu in the cold months, and I did. I had a hot toddy during that time. Hot toddies are good, dude. You can make and they're easy too. You can make yourself a hot toddy.
That's the deal.
I mean, you're already a hot toddy. It depends on what you want to make it with. A hot toddy typically, and it depends on if you want to make the fucking, it's usually bourbon, honey, lemon, and it's hot. It's like a hot drink, hence hot toddy.
Okay.
What a lot of people will do is they will take an ounce or two of bourbon, and they'll do a little spoonful of honey, and they'll usually just straight up put a full slice of lemon in there with hot water, and it's really that drink originated from people who are sick. I mean, that's, it is like an alcoholic beverage, but it is good those are all the things that you need for a sore throat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got the honey, all that shit, yeah.
Yeah. Hot toddy's good. It's a good classic
I'm
drink.
probably gonna have to fuck with that pretty soon.
Easy to do. And it is a cocktail. I mean, it has, again, it's got the sweetness from the honey, it's got the bitters from the lemon, it's got the water, and it's got the spirit. That's a cocktail. You know what I mean? There's just something beautiful about that. But yeah, I mean, even if you talk about, for a while there, we were thinking of show names for some of the different shows we've done, because we have shots, and there was a little bit when we were thinking of book club, I was like, do we want to stick with the alcohol theme? Do I want to call it Nerd Bourbon Julep? Was one that was in my mind.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that stuck out for a while.
Yeah, because of a mint julep, which is another great cocktail, classic cocktail, and it just book club just made the most sense because you can't really convey that shit. You can't really convey what the show is. Shots make sense because that does convey what it is, but you can't really talk about what the show is without just calling it what it is. But yeah, getting kind of back on track. When I go into a bar, man, I don't want to just drink a beer. I want somebody to sit there and make me a drink, and I actually visit I'll shout out my buddy Andy, who is a bartender. He's been a bartender for over a decade now, and from Chicago like me, and he went to one of the oldest bartending schools in the world, and he has all this experience under his belt. And he was telling me, he's like, dude, it's just going to waste in the city because nowadays people don't want a craft cocktail. People don't,
that's a damn shame.
It is a damn shame because people don't come in and just order an old fashioned. People don't come in and just say hey, give me a Tom Collins or a whiskey sour or a Sazerac or a Negroni or something like that. People don't know what the fuck you're talking about. They just want to pour you shots of Jameson or whatever and call it a day, because that's what everybody does. And oh, fucking give me a shot of Fireball, woo!
Don't get me started on what I feel about Fireball.
I actually like Fireball, but that's besides the point.
Fuck you.
I'm fine with Fireball. It's really.
You know
stupid.
what? We need to get the what is it? I've been doing this lately. If you like Fireball, fuck you.
I'm fine with it. I don't love it, but it's a very it's one of those. It's like Smirnoff. It's one of those things where it's a stupid, nothing sugar drink. But I hate it, dude. I like it for what it is.
I fucking hate it.
I'm fine with it, but anyway, you go in there and that's all they do. That's all they know how to do. And I just want to sort of like come back to that. And and it's something that I have a little bit of a passion for it, and I just love watching, like when I go to visit my buddy Andy in his bar or whatever. First thing I order is an old fashioned. I like to just watch him work. I like to watch him, even just shake it, shake the contents in the tumbler and everything like that. And just, people don't even know how to work that. People are like, what the fuck is a tumbler? What's a muddler? You know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
I went to a hotel which had an open bar and like a happy hour between 5 and 7 with like free drinks or whatever. Actually, with Dan, the last PAX we went to. And we went down there and we had a few drinks, and I shit you not, had to tell the bartender how to make an old fashioned.
Are you serious?
He did not. That should be the first fucking there. So there are two things. When you're a bartender and I'm going up to you, there are two things that I want. I start with an old fashioned every single time. And if you don't know how to make an old fashioned, that's where it ends. You know what I mean?
That's some real shit, dude. Like, come on.
Because an old fashioned is the first thing that you learned how to make. And, and then there's also like a daiquiri. There's so many people that don't know how to make a fucking daiquiri, which is maybe the simplest thing that a bartender can make in terms of craft cocktails. I mean, it is dead ass simple, and they can't even do that. You know what I mean? And like, it's a damn shame, because like there are bartenders who have this idea of themselves, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, to me, I can go and I can get a job as a bartender tomorrow and, hand people beers and pour people shots. That is not artistry to me. What is artistry is the ability to know these recipes and perfect these recipes and know how to work with the ingredients and make them into something beautiful that can, that can provide comfort to somebody, that can, because that wasn't, when I'm sitting at a bar and I'm drinking a cocktail, I'm not sitting there trying to get wasted. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to unwind or whatever and just like sip on some bourbon. Like, so many people run up these huge tabs at a bar, just like, throwing back shots. I'll sit there and I just want to go to a bar with a good craft cocktail menu and just, and just interact with the bartender and just sit there and chill. You know what I mean? And that culture doesn't fucking exist anymore. Like, it really is a shame. It's a bummer that now bars are just glorified, just glorified places to go and do what you can do at your house. But anyway, I'm trying not to. This whole topic shouldn't be an old man rant, but
it's exactly what it is, and I enjoy it.
It's totally what it is.
Again, if you have you obviously have a passion for this, and it's just
I try to.
So that's what it is.
It's one of those things, like, I'm a little bit of like a jack of all trades. I have a lot of interest, and I've fucked with a lot of things over the years, and mixology is one of those things that I've definitely kind of dabbled in off and on, like, throughout the years. I've made, my own cocktails, and I've experimented, and I love, I have a home, little tiny shitty home bar that I like to fuck with, and I might make my fiance and I some drinks every now and then, and I don't know, man, like, it just... The culture.
What's one of the cocktails you've made, like your own original?
There was one that I made. A few birthdays ago. That was like I like to incorporate some fruit into it sometimes, like muddled fruit. And there's one that I made, and I didn't have a name for it or anything, but it was like bourbon, of course, and like sugar and like a strawberry, I would muddle a strawberry and it, like, sliced strawberry. You don't want to do the full strawberry because you don't want all the seeds and shit pouring out of there. But I would just muddle a strawberry and then put like a twist of lemon. Just basically, it was like an old fashioned but with some strawberry in there, and it was almost had like a strawberry lemonade kind of vibe to it. And, I just experiment with shit like that all the time. Like, I like to just add things and be like, oh, what if this and what if that? And I picked up some bartending tools. When we moved into this apartment, I picked up like a muddler and a bar spoon and tumbler and stuff like that. And just stuff that I can...
That's actually something I need to pick up. I need to actually get myself a muddler.
Yeah, and you can get one. You can literally get one at Walmart. Like...
Yeah, because I have a tumbler, but I don't have a muddler.
Yeah, just and it's so much to me, and you should fuck with this, like, because to me it's so like it's so like therapeutic sitting there and just fucking with mixing drinks and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I'll just sit there and I'll just play some music and I'll just fuck around. Like, I'll just mess with stuff, and I love getting my hands into it. And I was talking to my bartender buddy Andy, and he was like, dude, like I have some of my old textbooks from school if you want to fuck with them. I'm like, dude, I would love to, because it's fascinating to me and it's something that I have a passion about. And and I've said this to you. It's not like I'm not saying that I want to be a bartender, but I am saying that I want to learn that craft. I want to have that kind of in my skill set. Because I have such an appreciation for what a craft cocktail is, and I have such an appreciation for the history of craft cocktails, and I feel like it's dying, and I want to do whatever I can to keep it alive. So, anyway, that's my craft cocktail topic. Did it.
Also, shout out White Russians.
White Russians are good. I love a good White Russian. There's also
I have all of my shit for a White Russian right now. Actually,
there's nothing wrong with a good White Russian, man. Have you ever had a Negroni?
No, I have not.
Negroni is one of those like stiff, like love it or hate it kind of drinks. I fucking love it personally.
So, what is it exactly?
It's a gin drink. Have you ever had gin?
Okay. I've actually never fucked with gin. I want to, never fucked with it.
Gin is like probably second to bourbon for me. So I'm not typically a huge like vodka drinker, but I do like gin. If I'm not mistaken, it's gin, Campari, and sweet vermouth, and it's quite literally it's just that, and it has kind of like a sweetness to it, like this is gonna sound really gross, but I swear it's not. It almost has like a cough syrupy taste to it.
I mean, I respect it.
But yeah, there's a White Russian. There's also a Black Russian.
Yep.
There's
that's legit, just like a White Russian.
It's the White Russian without the fucking cream. That's what that is.
Yep. Yeah.
That's all that is. I mean, at the same time, like you mentioned a whiskey sour, or I mentioned a mint julep. There's also like Tom Collins as another great gin drink. That's one of those. Tom Collins is one of those where if there was somebody that has never had gin before, like if I were to take you to a bar or a bar that actually served craft cocktails and you'd never had gin before, I would order you a Tom Collins. It's just gin, simple syrup, fresh squeezed lemon juice, and club soda. That's all it is.
That sounds like it'd be fantastic.
It is, and it's just one of those simple things, You can have a it's another one I'll shout out. Have you ever had a martini?
Actually, no.
Martini's another gin drink, and that's another one where it's like it's essentially like just gin and vermouth. And it depends on if you want it dry or if you want like an olive in there or whatever. And like that's another quintessential drink, and you just feel like fucking James Bond, So there's I could go on and on about my favorite cocktails, but that's that's my craft cocktail topic. So to lead into your topic.
So actually, no, stop. There's something we did miss.
What?
It's a mini subtopic.
What's that?
Visceral games.
Oh shit, that's right. Okay, yeah, let's do this.
I was actually thinking to myself, I'm like, oh shit, that's exactly what we missed. EA has killed Visceral Games, the beautiful bastards that brought us the Dead Space series. Fuck you, Dan, if you're listening.
I have some mixed thoughts about this whole thing. What are your go ahead before I steal this?
It's a shitty thing, honestly, because like I was I'm gonna be real. The Visceral Star Wars game was the main Star Wars game I was looking forward to, and that shit's dead.
It is, yeah. EA has closed Visceral Games, canceled whatever Star Wars game they're working on, and that's it. They are using now. So this is another wrinkle of it. The language that they used in their press release has. Myself and I, a lot of people are mentioning this, so it's not like an original thought by me or anything, but it seems like what they want is to take the assets from the game they were making and sort of incorporate them into almost like this is going to be their destiny. They have a new studio working on a new Star Wars game, utilizing the assets from the Visceral Star Wars game, whatever that was going to be. Mm-hmm. Now, what is clear is that was going to be like a linear, like single-player game, and what is also clear is that this new game is not going to be. So it seems to me like they're going to make a Star Wars version of Destiny, essentially. Now, here are where my thoughts get controversial, okay? I'm going to lay out just some facts, all right? Just some facts. And you can be pissed off if you want. Here's a fact. Dead Space is an amazing series. Dead Space 1 is like BioShock good. And I said this on the last episode, I think, when we were talking about our favorite horror games.
I think me and you kind of share the same opinion on this, where you're going. So
Dead Space 1 is a wonderful game. Dead Space 2 is also a wonderful game. Dead Space 3, it's fine. It's not really Dead Space, but it's still fine. Dead Space is a great series, all right? Here's the deal. That's about all the good games Visceral's ever made.
Yeah, I was actually looking back. I was actually looking through their like what they've developed, and I'm like, those are the only 3 that like popped out at me.
Extremely talented folks. You have to be talented to make Dead Space. But like, I mean, I'm really not trying to sound like a dick because I love Dead Space, and I really hope that those guys land on their feet. And like, best of luck if anybody from Visceral is listening. Best of luck to you guys. I was really looking forward to Star Wars and stuff like that. And Dante's Inferno is okay and blah, blah, blah. But, like, really don't want to be a dick, but, like, Battlefield Hardline, the shitty Army of Two game they made.
Hey, don't get me started on Battlefield Hardline.
I mean, it's all kind of crap. You know what I mean? Like, it's not... They don't have, like, a super great track record. And if you look at it, even Dead Space 3 came out over 6 years ago at this point, right?
Yep.
So those guys... You got to think about it from EA's perspective. Those dudes at Visceral have essentially been hemorrhaging money for like 6 years.
Yeah.
And, Amy Hennig, like we don't know. And here's the deal. We don't know a goddamn thing about that Star Wars game.
I know.
It was announced like, 2 or 3 years ago now. And we don't know anything about it. We never knew anything about it. We never knew shit. I thought for sure that last E3 we were finally going to get a big blowout about it. And we never did.
No. Well, obviously, now we know why.
Yeah, and now we know why is because they probably didn't have anything to show. It was probably still really early days, and I mean, like, and when you have early days 2 years into development, like, there's a problem. You know what I mean? So, like, was it really that bad of EA to close Visceral? I don't really think so.
I mean, to a certain extent, I agree with you, but I'm sitting here looking at this image of the victims of EA right here.
Yeah, and and I was talking to Dan about this just this morning, actually. I was like, and if Anthem flops, you better believe BioWare's next. And you can take that to the bank.
No, that is some real shit. If Anthem flops after the whole Andromeda, oh, bro, BioWare's done.
Mm-hmm. But, and again, I love Dead Space. I hope all of those guys land on their feet. I fucking love Dead Space. Like, Dead Space is a fucking great series. Even 3, like, even 3 included, it's a great series. And, like, I love Dead Space. I really love Dead Space. And those dudes are clearly talented. But, you know what? It's almost like the Kojima thing, How long can you sit there and drain a publisher's money before a publisher has to be like, all right, enough? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this Star Wars MMO Destiny thing, whatever the fuck they're going to make, like... You got to look at it from EA's perspective, right? Like,
there's money in that right there.
There's not just there's money in that. There is all of the money in that. Mm-hmm. What is enough? What is a big enough IP to take down Destiny?
I said this to Dan when I was playing with Dan on we were playing the Crucible, and I said he doesn't he was like, oh, I don't really agree with the doing the whole Destiny thing. I'm like, I'm not saying it's going to be exactly like Destiny. I'm saying it's going to be something to.
It's going to be Star Wars
against Destiny.
Yeah, it's going to be Star Wars by way of Destiny. Yeah.
And the thing is, it's going to start off on such a bigger foot because it's fucking Star Wars.
That's the thing. Is like, look at how well Destiny has done, not being an established IP.
Exactly.
Like, all that Destiny had going for it was, it's the Halo guys. Star Wars is the biggest IP ever, and it is. No, like, if you tell the world that, hey, we're making a Star Wars, we're making basically Destiny but with Star Wars, every fucking human on the planet Earth, not just here in America, not just in Japan or whatever, everybody on the planet fucking Earth is going to be there.
Oh yeah.
And you think EA doesn't want that? You are fucking crazy. And if you look at EA Studios, EA owns the video game publishing rights to Star Wars, right? Mm-hmm. They're the people who make Star Wars video games. And the only, out of all of their first-party studios, DICE is the only one that's delivering for them with Battlefront. Like, Stig Asmussen has a game being worked on. I think, doesn't Respawn have a Star Wars game or something like that? Or maybe those are the same thing. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Whatever the case may be, they have all these Star Wars games in development, and they had Visceral Star Wars game in development, and nobody was fucking delivering except for Battlefront. I mean, how pissed off would you be if you were EA? Where you're like, fuck, man, I have the most amazing recipe in the world, but none of my cooks know how to make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Star Wars is such an incredible, that's such an incredible IP, and they've done basically nothing with it because their development teams haven't, I'm not saying like, oh, lazy devs or whatever, but like, they have, the facts are, they have not delivered any Star Wars games except for Battlefront and Battlefront 2 coming in November. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I was telling this to Dan too. I was like, part of me kind of wishes that they would have just said, hey, BioWare, make another Star Wars RPG. But now BioWare sucks. So it's like, do I really want BioWare to make another Star Wars RPG? No.
If you want more information how we feel about BioWare, check out a couple episodes ago.
To check out multiple episodes where I've talked about BioWare.
That's some real shit. That's some real shit.
And that's really all I have to say about this EA Visceral stuff.
Yeah, I kind of, that is definitely something I wanted to bring up because I'm actually happy that we ended up recording later because we would have the original.
Missed it.
Yeah, we would have missed it. Like it happened as we were doing the weekly reset, and we're just like, oh shit.
You can actually catch. You can actually catch us if you watch the video of us doing the weekly reset. Like we learned about it while we were recording that on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's move on to your topic now.
Don't you mean Seth's second topic, you little shithead?
No, you know what it was is we were thinking of topics, and like I said, it's been a hectic week with the streams and with us both working and Todd starting a new job. I had this topic, which I'm going to let Todd introduce, but I had this topic that I had, to stick with the Halloween vibe and everything like that. And I was asking Todd what his topic was, and we were both trying to think of what else we could talk about. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to do this craft cocktail thing. Why don't you just take this topic?
Made me feel like a useless boy. No.
Well, you are a useless boy. You're also hot toddy.
Oh, that hurts. That's good too.
You may be hot toddy, but Anyway, what's the topic?
We're gonna talk about candy.
Candy.
And how we feel about it.
How do you feel about candy?
I love certain candies.
Okay.
I'm definitely more of a chocolate kind of guy.
Okay.
Over hard candies.
I get you. Do you like any hard candy at all, or is it just like a preference, or?
It's just a preference. I just don't really like hard candies. It's just they're kind of weak to me. I mean, I've had what was it? What were they, like Jolly Ranchers? I've had them. They're fine.
Yeah.
It's just I'm more of a chocolate guy.
I'm not typically a big sweets dude, but the thing about me is when I do go in on sweets, I go fucking in on some sweets. Because there are days where I'll be working and I ring somebody up for an Almond Joy or a Reese's, and I'm just like, oh my god, I would murder somebody right now to eat that. You know what I mean?
Now, I'm gonna shout out one thing right now. Holiday Reese's are better than the regular Reese's.
Disagree,
bro. I respect it. I respect what your opinion is.
Let me ask you this.
But I think they're better.
Let me ask you this, and I keep in mind that I already know the answer because I've heard this from multiple people. Why?
The sheer amount of peanut butter.
Okay, so why don't you just get a fucking big cup?
Fuck you. That's why.
You just got dunked on.
Oh.
That's my whole deal. Is I'm like, for me, these shape so everybody raves about these Oh, I love the Reese's trees, and I love the Reese's
I
pumpkins.
don't give a shit about the shapes. I just like the overall.
So just get a motherfucking big cup. You don't gotta wait. You don't gotta wait for it to be a holiday to get more peanut butter. They got the big cup, bro. Like they've solved that problem. They got.
It's actually another issue. I'm gonna tell you this: the chocolate's a little different.
I don't think so.
Uh,
It's maybe here. I'll tell you what's different.
To me,
I'll tell you what's different is it doesn't have the hard ridges of the Reese's. It's
that's
smooth.
exactly what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. The actual quality of the chocolate is the same. I personally prefer.
That's what I was trying to get to.
I personally prefer the ridges. I like the snap of that chocolate. I fucking love a Reese's Big Cup. And you know what? And I do a weird thing with my Reese's. Not a weird thing, but I refuse to eat Reese's that have not been refrigerated.
I respect that. I mean, I do enjoy a Reese's that's been refrigerated, but I'm not going to go out of my way for it.
I refuse. If somebody walked up to me in my apartment right now, first of all, I would hate that. Don't do that. But if they walked up behind me in my apartment right now and they said, "Here's a Reese's, it's fucking lukewarm and it's melting in my fat hands right now," I would say, "Can you please stick that in the freezer for me and I'll eat it in 5 minutes?" Because even just 5 minutes in the freezer is enough for me. It's got to be, for me, the Reese's has got to be cold, but it also has to have that snap. I like to bite through it. I don't want it to be all melty, you know. Oh, I love a Reese's. No, I can get real gross right now.
Oh, dude, I can go on for a while about how much I love Reese's. Reese's is like overall like my favorite candy. You ever had the Reese's Sticks?
Yeah, I like the Reese's Sticks. They're just so when I grew up, it's like the Little Debbie Nutty Bars, basically.
Yeah.
You ever have those
Yeah.
or the the Nutty Bars? That's what they're called.
Yeah,
Same fucking thing, basically. I mean,
they're still good though. They're pretty good. Some other shout outs of like chocolate and candy in general. I actually enjoy Nestle Crunch.
oh, Nestle
I enjoy
Crunch.
Nestle Crunch.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've had a straight up Crunch bar, but I do like. You know what I like? They make those little Crunch clusters.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are good.
Are you talking about the unwrapped things?
Yeah, where it's just like little balls of Crunch bar, basically.
Let me be real with you. That unwrapped shit is not good for my figure.
I don't like the
'Cause
Starburst unwrapped.
I don't fuck with that. I fuck with the Reese's. I fuck with a couple of the other ones. But the Reese's is dangerous. My fat ass will eat that entire bag.
Let me ask you this: have you had any of the variants of the Reese's Big Cup, or do you just not fuck with the Big Cup at all?
I haven't. I had the big cup like once.
The Big Cup has got two variants. There is a variant of the Big Cup that has Reese's Pieces in it.
Oh.
And I'm gonna be real with you, that's too much. Like that's just too much for
Hey,
me.
you shut your mouth.
No, don't get me wrong. I love peanut butter. I love peanut butter and chocolate. But it becomes, let me say this, it becomes such a monotonous chew. Like when you're eating it and it's just, okay, I just have some more peanut butter and chocolate in my peanut butter and chocolate. Like,
You know,
it adds nothing.
I've said this. I was having, this is a tangent, but there's like the peanut butter cup Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah. Where it's like,
I
it's
love that
peanut
shit,
butter
like-
ice cream with peanut butter
Yeah,
cups
it's
in
peanut
it.
butter ice cream, peanut butter and all that shit. I was sitting there eating it one time, and I just said to myself, like, some people would think this is too much peanut butter. Not I.
No, I love that shit. But they also, the second variant of a Reese's Big Cup, which really the Reese's peanut butter Big Cup is really just the Reese's for assholes. But I love it so much. The second variant is it has like little bits of chocolate chip cookie in it, not cookie dough, like chocolate chips, like hard chocolate chips.
Okay.
And I don't like it. It's not. It's called like Reese's Peanut Butter Big Cup Cookie Crunch or some shit. And I don't like it.
That doesn't sound that good. That doesn't sound that good to me.
Again, it's all about the texture for me. I love just a standard Reese's Peanut Butter Big Cup. That's what I love. But I mentioned Almond Joy earlier. Do you like Almond Joy?
That's the coconut one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've had it once. I don't remember how I felt about it.
Do you like coconut?
I do, so I feel like I might
You
like
should
it.
try
but
it.
I don't remember.
You should try it. It's essentially, here's the deal. I discovered my love for Almond Joy recently. I've always been a fan of coconut. Every time I eat something that has coconut in it, I don't encounter coconut that much, but when I do, I'm like, ooh, coconut.
So, how do you feel about Snickers?
I love Snickers. Love them.
Now, I like Snickers, but I'm like, I don't go out of my way for a Snickers.
Have you tried the hazelnut Snicker?
I've had a peanut butter Snickers, and that was fantastic.
Peanut butter Snickers are great. Yeah, peanut butter Snickers are great. The hazelnut Snicker is like, meh. But if you get a chance to try an Almond Joy, you should, because an Almond Joy is like, yes, it's chocolate, yes, it's coconut, it's got that almond in there, but I'm telling you, it's like buttery. It's fucking good.
Okay.
I also, and then at the same time, there's Mounds, which is basically, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Almond Joy without the almond, or it's dark chocolate Almond Joy or some shit. It's a very slight difference. I'm not a fan of Butterfinger.
Yeah, I don't like, there's something about Butterfinger that just doesn't feel right to me when I'm eating it.
Here's what pisses me off. We'll go to Sonic and I'll order a small Reese's Blast if I want some ice cream or whatever. Just a small one is good enough for me. I just want a little ice cream or whatever with some Reese's in it. And sometimes if they like are out of Reese's, they'll put Butterfinger in there and think I won't notice.
I'll go in there and slap a bitch.
They'll think they're being fucking smart. They think they're being fucking smart, sneaking some Butterfinger in there. No. Nobody's gotten the jump on Seth Sturgill. Nobody ever will, first of all. But Butterfinger is not the same as Reese's. I'm fucking sorry. I don't like the texture of Butterfinger. It's not the flavor that I don't like. It's the texture. I don't like all that crunchy, weird shit that like gets stuck to your teeth. No, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Although I did like the Simpsons marketing for the Butterfinger.
I respect that. So what is your overall favorite?
My overall favorite candy is a discontinued candy now, I think. I'm pretty sure it's discontinued because I haven't seen it in years, sadly. It is the Caramel Apple Milky Way.
Okay.
I know it's a very weird, specific, and I'm telling you, and they only sold them in like bite-sized like bags of bite-sized bars, and it's like a seasonal like Halloween thing. Caramel Apple Milky Ways are fucking decadent.
Okay.
They're sinful.
I'm not too big on Milky Way in general.
I like a regular Milky Way. I normally am not. Like, I don't care for Milky Way. I'm fine with it, but it's not like something I seek out. I'm telling you, these caramel apple Milky Ways, though, oh my God. Like, it tastes... I don't know what they did to get this kind of fresh apple flavor. It has the crispness of a fresh apple.
Okay.
And it still has the chocolate and the caramel and everything, but like the apple flavor is so pronounced. When I first tried it, I was like, okay, this is going to be fine, but like it's probably just basically going to be caramel, maybe a little hint of apple. No, the apple is at the forefront. And they're amazing. And from the first time I had one, I was like, that is the best chocolate anything I've ever had.
Okay.
But yeah, overall favorite that isn't like a limited time thing is Reese's Big Cup.
When it comes to me, I think my overall favorite candy bar is... Shit, we're going to go for like something that I haven't seen in a while. Shit, dude, what the hell? It's like it's a whatchamacallit, I think that actually might be what it is.
Whatchamacallit?
That or it's called, Skate 4.
Nice. I can respect that. Welcome back, Skate 4.
It lives again, but no, don't expect that every day. That's just I feel like that was a good way to slip it in.
That was good.
But but other than that, like actually my real one, I'm just getting to get that bullshit out of there. But
fair enough.
Is actually a cookies and cream Hershey's.
Oh, okay.
I love the cookies and cream.
So
Hershey's.
One of the things I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. One of the things, I guess, how secret can it really be if I'm doing it on the podcast? But one of the things we're gonna have at our wedding is a s'mores bar. We're gonna have a wide array of chocolate for the s'mores bar, and one of them is going to be cookies and cream Hershey's. So
I'm gonna be real with you right now. I'm not really gonna fuck with the s'mores aspect of it, but if the cookies and cream chocolate just disappears, I'm sorry.
I just thought that'd be really good on a s'mores, like cookies and cream Hershey's on a s'mores. Fuck yeah!
Like if you look at like you see a fat man in the corner of the like the reception, just like shoving it down his throat.
I just slowly approach you. I see you all in the fucking just area, just sitting there hunched over, like in the corner. I go to touch you. I'm just like, Todd, hot Toddy, and you just look back.
I just got like just white chocolate and it's just shit just it's bad, dude.
All over your fucking like dress clothes and shit.
Oh, it's gonna be terrible.
But yeah, so that's one of the things we're gonna have there. I respect that. I love it. I like just every now and then. I'll get just a regular Hershey bar with almonds. That's really good. Mm-hmm. My mom's favorite is caramello. Have you ever had a caramello?
No.
Those are really good. Just very simple. It's by Cadbury, so you know it's good.
I got to shout out, I actually do got to shout out something that you probably never had. It's like, I don't know if it's only located in Chicago or Illinois, but it's a chocolate company called World's Finest.
I've had World's Finest, yeah. But it is, I think it is local. I think it's only in Chicago.
Yeah, World's Finest is some love. I've done this multiple times because they usually give World's Finest to like kids, like for like fundraisers,
right.
like to pay for their field trips and shit. I've dropped $60. That's like paying for like a whole box of that shit.
Yeah, that's good.
Multiple times.
Just solid, good chocolate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Yeah, no, but a caramello is just as simple as it comes. It's just chocolate and caramel, but it's very good chocolate and caramel. Yeah, I could probably go on and talk about all these candies all day, but you said you didn't like hard candies. I do like hard candies.
I mean, like, there's certain hard candies I might fuck with, but it's just like, I don't go out of my way for them.
You know what my favorite hard candy is a sherbet lemon. Have you ever had one of those?
I feel like I have.
This is just the old man Seth episode.
It is really.
I love a sherbet lemon. It's just a hard lemon candy that you can even get them like sugar free, and yeah, you just kind of suck on them, like they're just good lemon candies. And
oh, I've had those. Those are fucking those are good.
I just like them. I don't know. And then you shouted out Jolly Ranchers. I love watermelon Jolly Rancher, man.
Yeah, you love watermelon anything.
You know what? The last thing I'll say about candy. I went down a rabbit hole some years ago. And maybe I've told you about this. I don't remember. Tootsie Rolls. Have I told you my Tootsie Rolls story?
You might not have. I don't know where this rabbit hole's going.
So, every now and then, I'll just find myself on some dark corner of the internet, and I'm just like, I was sitting there. It was one Halloween. And I'm just, you always...
Wait, can I say one thing about the Tootsie Rolls?
What?
I like those fucking fruit ones.
Oh, yeah, they're okay. I just like a standard Tootsie Roll.
I mean, I like the standard Tootsie Roll, but I do like, there's like a lemon one of those. I love those.
Yeah, I do like them. Yeah, I do like the fruit ones. But you know how, like, when
Shout them out real quick.
When you're going through your, like, Halloween kind of variety candy, you always end up with, like, a Tootsie Roll. And you're looking at it, and you're just kind of like, again, this goes back to what I was saying about craft cocktails. There's just something simple and pure about a good Tootsie Roll. And indeed, Tootsie Rolls were manufactured in the early 1900s. I'm on the Wikipedia page right now, 1907, in fact. So I'm sitting there one Halloween, and, I get to the bottom of my Halloween bowl, and what do I find but a Tootsie Roll? And I'm eating the Tootsie Roll, and I'm like, God, Tootsie Roll's pretty fucking good. Like, God, how old is the fucking Tootsie Roll? Because I know Tootsie Rolls are old. So I go on the Wikipedia page that I'm on right now, and I fall down the fucking rabbit hole because Tootsie Rolls are fascinating. So Tootsie Rolls, again, 1907 is when these things came out. So these things have, 100+ year history. And they were actually used, the most interesting thing about them, besides the fact that they were made, and they were given in like the wars and shit like that. In wars, they would literally drop crates of Tootsie Rolls because they're sustainable, they're delicious, and it's good for morale to have something like sweet and chocolatey and stuff like that in wartime. And they're very easy to package. And the most interesting thing about Tootsie Rolls, though, is that every batch of Tootsie Rolls since the very beginning, they've taken some of the original batch and mixed it in. So every time they make a batch of Tootsie Rolls, they take the previous batch, a little bit of it, and mix it into the new batch. So every time you're eating a Tootsie Roll, you're technically eating a little bit of the original batch of Tootsie Rolls. Isn't that cool?
That's honestly fascinating.
I thought that was fucking super fascinating. I was like, God damn. And like, they're really... And Tootsie Rolls are actually very like... There's not a whole lot of ingredients. It's sugar, corn syrup, palm oil, condensed milk, cocoa, whey, and artificial and natural flavors. That's all it is. Yeah. They're certified kosher. It's very, very straightforward. And yeah, like, I just love that. I love the history of Tootsie Rolls. Like, I love that every time you're eating one, you're getting a little bit of the original batch. How fucking neat is that? From 1907. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm a weird person.
That's all right. I accept you.
Anyway, is there anything else you want to say about candy before we wrap this bad boy up?
I think that's about it. I think we're good.
It was nice to have to take it in another Halloweenian direction, though. Like, I wanted some more Halloween love, you know. And if that meant candy, then so fucking be it. Because I do enjoy some candy. I'm, you know, like I said, not usually big on sweets, but if candy is presented, you better believe I'm gonna eat it. And I will definitely be picking up some candy soon because I haven't had enough candy this Halloween season. And maybe I'll have a Tootsie Roll or two. Anyway, you've been listening to Nerd Bourbon. If you had a good time listening to us talk about video games and craft cocktails and candy and the history of Tootsie Rolls, and if you had a good time listening to me and Hottie Toddy here, which is what I'm going to call him from now on.
That might have to be my new sign-on.
If you had a good time, just throw us a follow or a sub on whatever service you'd like to listen to us on. If you are listening to this and there is another service you want to listen to us on, let us know so we can get there. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/nerdbourbon. We're nerdbourbon on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We have links in the description to all of our social media sites and stuff like that. You can follow us on Twitch, where we stream at least once a week. And beyond that, the best and only way for us to grow is for you to tell your friends about us. Thank you so much for listening. Get fucking dunked on. We'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.